It's a great day to be a Coyote. Welcome, Coyote Nation, to another episode of Back to Pack Podcast, where we are going to be bringing you all of your favorite games, memories, and of course, discussion with our fellow Coyotes. As a disclaimer, we have no affiliation to the University of South Dakota. This is a podcast ran by fans for fans. The ideas and comments do not represent the university. Our opinions are our own. Be sure to find us on Twitter at BackToPackSD. That being said, let's jump in. See, Grant, I'm still not a pro at this.
You did a great job. You always do a good job with the intro. I just can't believe that Mitch can do that same howl every single time. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is an impressive talent.
Been practicing. I was going to ask you guys, is this the Coyote Group Therapy Hotline? Because if it is, I'm in the right spot.
We actually should tag it that for this game.
Say, unfortunately, the last 2 weeks it feels like that. That's we're not used to that. That's the fun. That's the guess good or bad part. Is last 2 years we've been spoiled, but here we are, a little bit different territory.
Well, and I'll jump into a story just from the Iowa State game, going back a little bit. But my poor daughter, I just realized she was watching the Iowa State USC game, and she's just bawling in the third quarter. I'm like, what's wrong? Like, it's a game. Get over it. You know, we don't have to cry. She goes, the Coyotes aren't supposed to lose like this. And this is when I realized my two children have been absolutely spoiled, and they have no cardiac coyotes. They're not nervous going into games. They fully expect not just a win, but for the most part, a dominating fashion.
Especially at home.
Well, especially at homes. Yeah.
Man.
Uncharted territory for us.
As people shuffle in here, I want to say shout out to Yote Fan. Yote Fan's always in here, the OG.
Oh, yeah.
And then, hey, how about my season ticket holder buddy here, Sarah Wells, front row, Section H. Looking forward to tonight's show. Can't believe I'm having to endure trash talk from fellow Coyote fans. Guys, on that note, I want to talk about this real quick because our fan base is absolutely fractured right now in the fact that you got people that are about ready to jump off the top of the dome, the new dome roof, by the way. They're on the ledge ready to jump, and then, which I'm in that group, and then you have folks that are full on just ride or die. We're going to figure this out. But I mean, it's all over the board. You guys have seen it, right? You've seen the Facebook comments, you've seen the Pro Yote board comments, you've seen our group texts. It's been wild. What do you guys think?
Well, I'll say this: if it wasn't for our show, I probably would have deleted Twitter by now.
Right. It's been a rough 48 hours.
Here, okay, I have probably an unpopular opinion about this, but I've been thinking about it because you're right. Like, you see a lot of negative comments to Sarah's point, like, you know, just a lot of folks who are really disappointed. However, I would much rather see that than just no one talking about it at all to the point where they just don't care. Because that
apathy,
that existed not that long ago, to where win or lose, no one really cared. So
that's right.
Maybe I'm more of an optimist on that front, but like, I kind of like it to see people get fired up, that they have an expectation. Like, no, this team can win and we should win. And this is a really disappointing loss, and probably one of our most disappointing losses in a long time. I would say
since the UNI game.
UNI, right, is one, maybe Houston Christian, right? So one of those. So I think it's all fair in my opinion, but I also think it shows that people do care about this program and, you know, want to see us win. So I'll take both.
Well, that's just it, Jake, right? Because you see, and that's part of the reason we started this show is to, you know, drive more engagement, more passion, the fan base, grow the fan base, all those things. And now you're seeing some of these comments online with people saying, you know, the season's over, you know, 3 wins incoming, all these different things. How can I get a refund on my season tickets? You know, comments all over the place. And to me, and to Grant's point, and you can tell me what you think, Jake, but like, that's passion, whether that, you know, and it's okay to be frustrated and angry, because I think we're there too, but that comes out, you know, in different ways from different people, but that shows passion, right? And that's what we want.
No, and I agree completely. When we first started this is the same time that Facebook page rolled around. And for the most part, that Facebook page was crickets leading up to it. And now you're seeing people posting and getting excited about softball, volleyball, soccer getting a win here and there. It's just, there's a lot of passion swirling around what USD is athletics wise and where we want it to go, because we know there's capabilities of it. The one thing I will say to everybody be careful what you post. Don't be an idiot. People see everything. That shit gets around. And sorry for my language, but it is bad. You can't be putting that stuff out there. Players see that. It can lead to huge fractures, not just in the fan base, but in the locker room as well. So be smart what you're posting. You can be disappointed in the loss, but be excited at the opportunity that we get to try to help now this coming weekend to get back in the W column. We're all going to be together under the roof together. 10,000 strong. Can't really beat that.
Yeah, I will say with the caveat too is all the all the posts, all the whatever you want to call it or whatever you see out there. I don't think that is an indicator to where people are saying are not gonna show up on Saturday. Like we're gonna have a huge crowd on Saturday. I'm pretty convinced of that. It kind of reminds me of my own golf game, right? I go out on a Saturday and I stink it up. I'm like, this game, I'm done with this game. I hate this. I'm gonna sell the clubs. All right, see you next Saturday, right? Like that's just the reality of it. Like if you're going out, you're going out. So it's okay to be frustrated. It's only Monday. I mean, come Thursday, I'll have a different tune. I'll be ready for game day. So
exactly.
Yeah, and that's why we're here, right?
Right. We'll get into
we're here doing the
post
game show for that very reason, because it is group therapy. It helps us, and hopefully it helps some others too to talk about it. So here we go.
Yeah, and I'd 100% love to be a sounding board with any fan base. All right, anybody in the fan base, let's talk it out. It's there. We have the best returning quarterback in college football for FCS. We have the best running back. Our wide receiver base is phenomenal. The D-line, actually, we'll talk about them. They showed out. The defense found their footing, in my opinion. It's coming together. It's just not as fast as we all hoped. But we added 27 transfers. Might have been a rough way to do it.
Well, yeah, so let's dive into Lamar here and just kind of a brief overview, and you can see it on the screen, but I did put the scoring summary in there this week. And for those that watched it, we jumped out to a quick 10-0 lead, right? And you saw, again, a pattern is emerging, guys, where the first drive of the game for our offense, go down there, make it look real easy and score. And then everything after that becomes a lot more difficult for the offense. But nonetheless, jumped out to a 10-point lead, and then it just seemed like it was a slow grind through the middle portions of this game where neither team was dominant, right? And it's just we slowly let it slip away. A lot of mistakes. We know we had the 3 turnovers, which we'll talk about too. But I want to mention our score predictions real quick, guys, because this is part of the fun why we do this show.
This is fun.
Oh my goodness, were we wrong on how many points we were going to put up? And that's really where the crux of tonight's conversation is going to go, right? Is talking about the offense, defense. I think the overall theme. You guys can put in your 2 cents here, but I think we think the defense played well enough to win this game. And the offense just didn't hold up their end of the bargain. And obviously, I mentioned it, the 3 turnovers, 1 on special teams, does not do us any favors there. So, I guess high-level thoughts from you guys on this game ending 20-13.
I will take that defense in pretty much any game we play. I'll say that. You give me that defense every game, I will be happy.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I said the same thing. I said, zoom out. It was kind of a sloppy game by both teams. Like that's what probably makes it a little bit more disappointing is that I don't think anybody walks away from this and is like, oh wow, that Lamar team is going to shock some folks. I wasn't ultra impressed. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they go on and run the table in their conference and win the Southland, have 10 wins. Like I hope they do. Trust me.
It would make this loss more palatable.
It'll make this loss a lot more palatable come resume time, but I just don't foresee that being the case. Like to Jake's point, 204, 209 yards of total offense. Like you take that every day of the week if you're if on defense. So I think the defense did their part. I was pretty impressed with how the D-line held up to Jake's point. I mean, really, the offense was just not where outside of that first drive, the offense was just nowhere to be found, unfortunately. I think the only bright spot is maybe running backs. I thought the running backs played okay. I should say I think all 3 running backs played pretty well, but I think we all agreed QB play, O-line play, wide receiver play just wasn't good enough on Saturday, right? And the points show it, right? 13's not going to win you hardly any games. So
13 won't win you any game unless you're playing Iowa.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
And still would have tied them. But yeah, no, I'll add to that. Running backs as a whole, you take out Aiden Sack, and we averaged just over 5 yards a carry.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, you hand the ball off twice, you got a first down. Take that every time. So that was good. I think that tells you we did some pretty solid blocking. But all in all, we only had 49 plays on offense.
Yeah. Yeah, to your point too, we couldn't sustain drives, and I'm sure you've got it up here, Mitch, but I think we were 1 for 9. Yeah, 1 for 9 on third downs. Again, just a stat that doesn't lead to wins, right? You have to be able to convert, half of them, right? Give yourself an opportunity to sustain some sort of drives, but 1 for 9 on third down, 1 for 3 on fourth down. So it just wasn't good enough, and I'm really hoping the friendly confines of the dome changes things for the offense, because boy, we need it. We need to show some life that this offense can do some things that we know they're capable of doing.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, Jake, too. I think with the defense, right? And they held up, they're kind of their end of the bargain. They forced 2 turnovers in this game, 2 interceptions, and but yet you counting the special teams mistake and fumble there on the return, we still end up -1 on the turnover battle, which is not good either. Coupled with that third down percentage there, Grant, that you mentioned, and even fourth down, 1 for 3, time of possession obviously equated out. But would you guys, what would you guys say if I told you prior to this season that through 2 games we wouldn't have a rushing touchdown?
You're lying. I would take what you're drinking. Yeah, about that.
So to Grant, you just mentioned it. I want to counter your point with the running backs did look good, but you still had negatives. You're not putting it in the end zone. You're fumbling on the goal line. And on top of that, you had Charles Pierre Jr. get hurt in this game, just to add insult to injury. And so I think that was right before halftime.
Yeah.
But so that's I don't know, guys. The alarm bells are going off a little bit for me, and with everything in the offense, but specifically O-line, running backs, just because we know with the style of offense that we run, even with the change in offensive coordinator from last year to this year, we're run first team, and everything is set up on that play action. That's where he opens up those deep shots, those crossers, all that stuff. To not see more success. I think on one of their podcasts I listened to this week, they were saying last year we were averaging like 7 yards a carry. We're still at a good 5 yards a carry, like you just said, but the overall production, the flash, the big runs, punching it in the end zone, none of that's there this year up to this point.
Yeah. It's tricky. One thing I'll add to Charles's injury, I don't know anything on it, so I'm going to preface by saying that. But throughout the game, in the second half, I watched him on the sideline, and he was suited up fully. He had his helmet. I think he did go in the second half once or twice in the very early possessions. So I think that bodes well for what we'll see this coming game. He probably got shaken up, but that fumble into it, I had a buddy that was at the game. It rained pretty good, actually, during halftime going into
I'd say especially right before half it just opened up and downpoured.
And, I'm going to bring this up, and it's not so much as Travis as the fullback from Adventures for Good here, but what I would say is it's more you lost the leadership in the room, and we kind of all thought Charles would just be the natural step in on it. I don't know. Maybe there just isn't the passion and ownership in that room like we thought there might be for wanting to be the best running back room in the nation.
Well, and Grant, you've seen LJ. We've seen 2 guys in that fullback role now. You've seen LJ and even Carson Fletcher, 33, young kid, is built really well, but they've both been in that kind of fullback role. But I agree, Jake, what you said. It doesn't feel the same to this point in the season.
It's tricky too, because you want to sit there and think maybe it's the running backs, maybe it's the O-line, and they just haven't found the ability to gel. I tell you, I wasn't overly impressed except for a few holes here and there, but we just didn't have the ability to open up the run lanes that we are used to seeing, where the O-line just goes out and dominates who's in front of them.
Yeah, I think that's kind of, and two, I think what the game showed us was a little bit of what we were a little concerned about even before the season started. We had mentioned this Lamar game was kind of a tricky game, right? We all still expect us to win, but we thought it was tricky for the reasons you just said, right? Like it's such a short window for so many new guys to gel, especially the offensive line, but just gel in general, right? We're talking the whole team, right? Coaching staff, players, the whole thing. So that's where I'm really hoping these next 2 weeks, we really turn into a position where we can really get things linked up. You get to play at home. You're not hitting the road. You're not getting on a plane. You're doing all the things at home, and really hoping that things turn around pretty quickly, and specifically for the offense too. I think that's where to Mitch's point, the alarm bells are going off the most for me.
Yeah. And I'll say this too. We now have, hopefully we're going into it. It's what we think. We have 2 tune-up games. We all kind of hope, at least the UNC one, we'll get into that one more on Thursday. But for the most part, I still think we all think they're tune-up games. That was just an in-state game, and maybe they jumped up and tried to bite the team above them kind of thing. But we got 2 tune-up games that could really set us on the straight and narrow. And I texted you guys this morning, and I liked both of your responses. I said, what if we do go in and beat UNC and Drake, whatever, 41-3, kind of like what we're used to seeing, dominant fashion. Where you at? Well, Mitch said a 4 or a 5 on the panic alarm, and Grant said he's back to drinking the Kool-Aid. And which I'll say this though, Mitch for the most part is perpetually at a 6 on the panic meter, even
And for reference, I'm at about an 8 right now, so 4 would be real good.
So yeah, I mean, definitely we have somebody outside of Mitch's house keeping an eye on him, just for everyone else to know. But
I appreciate you guys talking me off the ledge. I was there for a good day or 2.
And I was gonna save this to the end of the show, but I listened to their coach's post game as he was walking off the field, ESPN Plus interview. He said that we had guys on the sideline puking up a storm. We had guys cramping like crazy, and that tells me they just wanted it. I think it really comes back to our fumble. Sorry, I read Matt's message there. It comes back to that fumble and that kickoff. They smelled blood in the water. You're at the 25-yard line. Who doesn't start licking their lips at that? Like, yeah, heck yeah. 25 yards to tie this game up. They smelled blood in the water. They tied it up, and we didn't respond on the next one. We took a punch and didn't deliver one back, and they smelled something in the air and just went full tilt into it. And so I think that is one thing. We let the window in and we didn't punch back, and that's where it crumbled.
Well, yeah, and I would even go one step further, Jake, on that and go back even before and on the Matt Walsh interception, which I think Caden Crawford kind of tipped that and got a hand on it in the defensive line, and Matt Walsh picks it off, and I think he ran it back to like the 20-ish, maybe 15-yard line, something 20, like that.
25, somewhere there.
Yeah, and we didn't score a touchdown on that. They held us to a field goal, and so that's where we got to 10. And then you just saw kind of the errors happen with some of the other plays that you mentioned, both the special teams and the other one. But yeah, you opened the door. You didn't have that killer instinct to go jump on them and kind of end it early. And so you left the door open, and then you set them up with some points. And it just kind of snowballed from there in a real slow fashion. Like, they didn't run away with it or anything. Obviously, It took that late touchdown to win, but it just seemed like it was just a slow grind from there, in their direction.
I will say this: we get the ball back for that one last drive. Who all thought we were going to overtime? I sure as heck did.
I know. Yeah. I know you did.
Oh God. Yeah.
Well, I mentioned it too. I think that was part of the frustrating thing about this game, is that it seemed like I found myself just waiting for us to take over. Right? I was like, okay, now's the time. Well, then we didn't.
To put our foot down and say enough. Yeah.
Now's the time, and it just never, ever came. Right. That was tough. So that last drive, I'm with you, Jake. I was like, okay, it's now it's going to be go time. Right. We're going to see something. Exactly. We've got to have it. And it just never came to fruition, unfortunately.
Now,
I
will
think
say
we
this.
got 2 yards on 4 plays, by the way, on that final drive.
Yeah. And real quick, I want to jump in and just anybody that's watching with us live, feel free to throw your thoughts, concerns. Let us walk you away from the ledge because I promise you, it's not nearly as bad as you think it is. I think this was an all-out tilt by Lamar in reality, but for the most part, yeah.
Hey, shout out Lamar. It's a good victory for them. Obviously, we were
Huge.
ranked number 4 coming into this game. We've since fallen, but it's a big win for them. But if you look at big picture, I think we gave it to them. I think we left a lot of meat on the bone, even though we do look out of sync and sloppy at times. I think we left a lot out there.
And my other hypothetical situation that we talked about that I really didn't want to play out, but I did say what happens if USD goes 0-2, but then wins out and wins the Missouri. Are they a 1-2 seed? That's 3 top 10 wins just on the way there. And who knows with SIU? I think that's actually 4.
That would be lovely. Grant, what do you think?
Get me through UNC first.
Okay, I agree. Hey, can we circle back to the wide receivers real quick? There was a comment about that, and just the wide receiver core.
I wanted to touch on that.
I want to lump tight ends in there too, just playmakers in general. Let's talk about that because in my mind, nobody's really kind of emerged as the guy.
Yeah, it's tough. So, in my opinion, it's not so much that nobody's emerged as a guy. I just don't know if anybody's built enough confidence for Aiden to believe in them. And it's tough to say because you have Jack Martin, you have Jesse Miller in there, Zach Whitty. Like these are 3 long-term receivers for the or obviously tight ends, but and Javion Phelps, the receivers and tight ends that have built up connection with him. But it's just there's no JJ, there's no Carter Bell, and it feels like
those were 2 really good security blankets last year, and that's kind of where I'm getting at. Is just we don't have that. Nothing's emerged, which leads me to another point. Where the heck is Javion Phelps?
I'm struggling with this because I've heard so much hype about Fenner and Tyson Bowes going into this season that I was like, okay, I'm all for the experiment on these, getting these young guys in. But now I think Aiden needs somebody to trust, and he trusted Javion in the biggest situation of the season last year.
Yeah, I mean, they call him Big Play Javion for a reason. I mean, he steps up in those clutch moments. It feels like him and Aiden really had a solid connection building last year. I know there was guys obviously in front of him that were getting the ball much more, but what little he did get the ball last year, it seemed real positive, and I just figured that would be kind of a springboard into this year, and we just haven't seen him.
And I mean, Jack Martin got the ball not to, but to put us 1 touchdown down on NDSU or 1 possession down on NDSU.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so, and nothing against Jack. I mean, he's solid. I love his game and everything, but like, I just they can't. I don't know. It just seems like we need more. I need more guys to step up there.
Yeah, and I actually do like Jordan's comment. Sometimes you gotta go up and win the battle too. I kind of think back to the interception because that was thrown to Dallas Holmes, and I would say in a normal situation, I'm not gonna ever compare any other players to each other by any means, so I won't put a label on it. But Dallas needs to go up and grab that ball. In my mind, that was at least a 70-30 ball. It was 70% his, 30% whoever was in coverage. And whoever was in coverage went up and said, no, it's 70% me, and ripped the ball out of his hands.
Yeah, I will say too, just to add on to this, I think you make a good point, Jake. I feel like that was one thing I noticed kind of watching the game back was there's a lot of balls that were, let's just call them 50-50 balls for the sake of argument, right? But it seemed like we had about 4 to 6 of those, and we didn't hit on any of them. And if we would have hit on even 1 or 2 of them, it would have been big time plays to make a big difference in the game. So the other thing I want to say, just kind of off this conversation, talking about the receiving core, I also want to say, like, this rapport we're talking about that Aiden maybe doesn't have with the tight ends and the wide receivers, I want to say he doesn't have it yet, right? That's the other part. We are 2 weeks into the season, but to accomplish, like we said, if we want to accomplish what we think this team can accomplish, it's got to happen quickly, right? And certainly over the next 2 weeks is kind of at least a minimum time frame, but It's got to happen fast. I still have faith it's going to happen, but it's tough. It's tough.
We
It's
only
tough being
threw the ball
patient.
21 times in
Mhm.
that game. And
Yeah.
typically, we're up right around that 27 to 30 range.
It was
but
fairly balanced, Jake, but I think you mentioned it earlier. We just didn't have a ton of plays because we didn't possess the
49.
ball because we couldn't sustain any drives, and you know, in the kind of a couple turnovers, drives are short. Yeah, that's
No,
tough.
I mean, typically, you know, last season, what we would do is we would run the ball and we'd gain 7-8 yards on first down, and now it's 2nd and 2 or 3.
Yep.
And you just see a play action boot where Aiden would just drop a bomb. And now it's 2nd and 6. And maybe we still go try to do that long ball, but now it's 3rd and 6 on that incompletion. And that's so much harder to do than 3rd and 2. It's just we're not on script. But when we're on script, I mean, look at our first 2 drives for both games. Phenomenal. Did them in less than well, I mean, Iowa State was impressive just because of who it was against and how long we drove for, but then that one was less than 4 minutes against Lamar.
It really
was
something I'm going to be watching for in this upcoming game on Saturday, guys, is that first drive. Because you got your scripted drive, you know, that we come out with, and I don't know, maybe we script multiple drives, I don't know, but it's everything after that first scripted drive that I'm most curious about, because it seems like that's where it falls apart on offense.
Yeah. And I'll say for the most part, you probably script 1 to 3 drives, but it also depends. I mean, if you see something that happens on one that you weren't prepared for it to work or not work, then you start going to the drawing board on drives 2 and 3, and those start turning into suggestions. And then all of a sudden, now you're just going with the flow of the game, and you never, I don't know. The play calling never, I haven't felt a flow yet. Besides this.
No, and that's just the whole theme of the offense, right? Grant is just out of sync. You from Aiden's play to throwing off his back foot to behind guys at their feet to O-line being inconsistent to receivers just not getting open, not contest, you know, not fighting for those 50-50 balls, et cetera, et cetera. Just seems like everything's just out of sync right now.
And real quick before Grant goes, I just want to touch on those balls that are thrown at the receiver's feet. If you go back and watch every single ball that's delivered to the feet of his receiver, there is a defender in Aiden's face. So don't overthink it so much as it's Aiden.
No, I'm not blaming it all on Aiden,
yeah.
but it's just the offense in general is completely out of sync versus a unit that's all one.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
And
I agree with you too. There hasn't been a lot of rhythm to the offense yet. What makes it slightly frustrating is because both games we've seen that it's there on that first drive.
Yeah.
Right. So like, you know, it's there, you know, they're capable of doing it. And then when it disappears, it almost makes it worse. Right.
So much worse.
Brutal.
Right. It's the reverse of last year, right? Remember last year, it's like we always gave up that first touchdown early.
I would give that up.
For sure.
Yeah.
Back. And then we would turn it on and we would just put the foot on the throat, right? That's the, you know, at least especially in home games, right? So that's where I'm hoping for this week. And we'll talk more about it Thursday, of course. But that's where I'm hoping this week is that we see more of that once we get back to the Dome, get some rhythm going. Getting to play at home 2 weeks in a row, I think, is a lot bigger deal than people maybe understand. But if you can get that rhythm going these next 2 games, would love to see what's going to happen come Missouri Valley Conference play.
Exactly.
All right. Real quick. I just want to say one last thing on the offense. From the offensive line perspective, and this is kind of just the whole team in general, really, is just that mindset and attitude that they better come out really freaking hungry on Saturday and be the aggressor and just get freaking pissed and just go dominate, push people around, because that's really what we need to kind of flush this and cure all evils. And then secondly, let's flip to defense real quick. We're kind of knocking out here points, what stood out and where do the Yotes need to improve. I think we've kind of hammered that, but let's just talk defense real quick, because there was some flashes there.
Yeah, and actually we can just get into what was good. I mean, this is where the positives showed up for the most part. We definitely made some mistakes here and there, but in reality, when the team that you're facing runs the ball down your throat 47 times, it's going to kick your butt regardless.
Mhm.
And you know what? They ran it 47 times and they still only had 139 yards rushing.
Mhm.
That was a win. And Matt's bringing it up, and might as well. This is my opportunity to pat.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
I got you.
Might as well pat myself on the back. I was right not once but twice on the same comment. Last week I did say I felt like one Yote was going to get his first career Coyote pick, and it happened not once with Mikey, but then Matt Walsh as well, opening up the game with the tip from. I do believe you're right on the Caden Crawford tipping it at the line, but both of them first, second career start, both got their first pick of their careers as well. So shout out those guys.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, the defense forcing 2 turnovers was fantastic, right? I mean, as far as lack of game flow, I mean, they did their best to disrupt Lamar and what they were trying to do, because I think it was up to Lamar. They would have had about a time of possession of 40 plus minutes and ran it another 20 times had we not turned it over. So I thought that was great. I thought Caden Crawford played great. I you know I think the defense did what they needed to do, right? I mean, outside of take away the special team snafu with the muffed kickoff, like you're looking at 17 points given up, right, by the defense, and here there kind of taking it that way. And
check out third downs there, Grant. To your point, look at that, talk about getting off the field. Yeah. The only issue, if you had to point to one, is that fourth down, allowing 3 out of 3 on fourth down.
So in reality, in my mind, they went 7 of 15 on
right.
Down, you know,
absolutely,
because they still converted it on 3 of those but on that. So of the 11, which makes it tough. Yeah, but anybody else get annoyed that it just felt like all they were doing? It just felt like we were watching USD play Army or Navy.
Yeah, we talked about that in the preview show. They wanted to run the ball, right? If we allowed them to, and as long as the game didn't get away from them, they were going to run it all game. That's exactly what they did. That's another disappointing part from the other side, is had we been able to score some points and force them into some more pass heavy situations, I think we would have been able to really separate ourselves from them, but we just never got to that point.
How about give the update on the targeting call on Wade Abrams too?
Yeah, I'm so happy to hear this. I love chatting with the Abrams. They're fantastic people. So I got a little insider information this morning, but then I also got announced the appeal was overturned, and we will get Wade Abrams for the entirety of the game next week. So
yes, huge,
yes,
big. This is more towards ESPN Plus, but that was the most garbage production I have ever seen in my life.
Dude.
I did not get to see a replay of the targeting to back up my fact that it was not targeting. I did not get to see. If I didn't have John Walters or John Thayer's synced with the game, I would have missed at least 5 plays. It was a load of crap. I came in on commercials that as the commercial ended, I was seeing the end of the play. Drove me nuts.
No, it was an absolute trash experience from start to finish. Commentators to the video quality to everything was absolute trash.
And who knew what down and distance it was?
Nope, had no idea.
Right.
Look at the sideline.
It is crazy. There's only 3 things you want to know when you're watching a football game: is how much time is there in the quarter, what's the score, and what's the down and distance. And they only did 2 of the 3. Mind blowing.
Matt, I see your comment as well. This is a family show, so I'm not going to put it on the screen. But yeah, I will say this: at least they had a regular clock built into the scoreboard, because I've seen some games where they actually have a camera pointed at the clock.
Oh yeah, we've seen that on ESPN Plus.
Dude. Unbelievable. All right, let's finish up on the defense. Players of the game. I think we all kind of texted about this and we agreed. We kind of have 2 standouts, and they come from the defensive side. How about Nathan LePerry? 2 sacks. He really shined in this game. I mean, he popped on the tape and what little replays you got to see. Just flying through the offensive line and getting to the quarterback with a ton of speed. Reminded me a little bit of other D tackle and DN that we had in the past.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. All Gase. It's gas.
Yep. Gase. Yep.
Yep. No.
Had some flashes there, and I know he's still young. I think he's a sophomore, but man, he looked good.
And
Mhm.
Texas boy too, getting to show out in front of family.
Yep.
So there's that. Jeff Bowie showed up really well. I was very impressed with Chris Dixon and Mosiah Newsom. They don't really have the stats to back it up, but if you seldomly see a D tackle have stats. But
Right.
I was very impressed with their ability to clock. I'm actually going to go out on a limb and pick a little different player of the game. I'm giving it to Matt Walsh on
Let's
my end.
go. Your boy.
Mhm.
This is your boy.
Yeah.
There he is. Yes, huge game. I mean, he was involved in every single play possible. He showed up and did all the things right. You really can't credit this kid enough. So I'm excited to see that not only is he getting the opportunity to start, but he is not going to let go of that ever.
How about credited with 10 total tackles? Only 2 solo, but 8 assists, 10 total tackles. Had the tackle for loss there, half there, and then half a sack, forced fumble, which
And an
I think they
interception.
fumbled. I think they fumbled twice. I think they recovered them both, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And then obviously the interception there on the tip drill and returned it for 16 yards. That absolute monster game from him.
Yeah, I'm so happy for him on this. He's looking good. So yeah, you really don't have much more to say about it.
All right, boys. Last but not least, as we wrap this up, time to panic or not panic.
That finger's hovering over the wrong button.
Say maybe a better question is maybe the 1 to 10 scale, right? That's what we've typically used. What's your panic meter at? 1 being not worried at all, 10 being we're the worst team in the country.
Yeah, throw it in the chat for those that are still here
throw it
hanging
in
out
the
with
chat
us.
if
Throw it
you're.
in the chat.
I want to get a pulse check on Coyote Nation here and just see where everybody's at. But Jake, we'll start with you.
Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to take a bungee cord, throw a lasso, and rope around Mitch just for some safety reasons. For the folks popping in the chat too, they're a little more confident than I am. I was leaning towards about a 4. Just the play calling didn't have a flow yet on the offensive side, and that's really where my alarm bells are at per se. We got to get a flow going. I was still waiting for the gel to happen. I kind of look back, and I'm going to use a player, Karan Adams, who transferred in. It took him, 3 games to figure it out, and he transferred down from Iowa State to USD. In my opinion, those kind of transfers should have things figured out coming in, and it still took him a while to get on pace with us. So if this game is kind of ugly, then it starts creeping up quicker. But if we go in and just do what we should do, yeah, it's going to be a 4 with a fall down to 2.
All right, Mark is whatever must win Saturday is. I'm there as well, which is probably a 10 because it is an absolute must win.
I mean, if you have the goals that we want to have, every game's a 10 then in the panic. But I think that's also what's caused. I think that's what's caused our issues though too, because it kind of looks like we tried to win a championship game every game so far. Go out, just play the game, play smart, play what you've been practicing for, what you've been building for. Quit. Don't think about the championship. Don't think about, going next. It's just go out there, do
one
what
play.
you're
one
best
play at
at
a time.
Exactly.
And have some damn fun. I mean, this is a game. Yes. I love the sellies. We haven't had a ton so far to begin this season, but these guys need to have some fun, loosen up a little bit, untighten that screw just a little bit, and go have some fun.
Yep, it's there. I tell you what, I'm gonna be probably one of the rowdiest guys in tailgate come Saturday. I will open up the gates for them. I'll help them move those barriers. And I'm going to be there with my bells, enjoying every bit of it because it is fun. It's fun to get together, get to see every single person in this chat. I cannot wait to meet all of you if I haven't met you in person. If I have, let's share a beer. But we'll go through your guys' panics as well, and then I want to add something.
We got to address this. Is this the real President guest ring here? Because if it is, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, she's a big fan of the podcast.
She agrees. She agrees with
Friend of the show
comment
for
there.
sure.
Let's go. Let's go. All right, Grant, you want to go or you want me to go?
Well, mine's kind of boring because I'm the same as Jake. I had 4 written down is where I'm at with it. So I think we need to be concerned, but a lot of football ahead of us as well. So, but I will say too, a poor performance at home, that panic meter gets cranked up pretty quickly for me. But I will say too, because I know we're going to wrap up here pretty soon. To Jake's point too, one, I'm still, regardless of what happened on Saturday, I'm so excited for the home opener. I think a ton of people are going to be showing out. I've had a lot of people talk to me about getting tickets, going to the game. So the game's going to be a ton of fun on Saturday. And as my buddy Mike would say, last time I checked, we're undefeated at tailgate. So that's something you always got to take in mind.
Yes. And never take an L at tailgate.
That's right.
All right, I'll go. So Saturday night after the game, I was definitely an 8, maybe 9.
No liar.
But 10, I don't know.
11.
You guys had to rein me in a little bit. I've slept on it. I've calmed down a little bit. I would say I'm probably, after today's conversation, probably at a 6. But like Jake said, I'm perpetually at a 6. So
moving in the right direction. So Mitch is just back to normal.
I'm back to normal. So everything should be good in Coyote Nation going forward. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's still a lot of question marks to be answered yet, especially on offense. Defense, I like the way we're trending. How about special teams too? How about Will Leyland? 2 for 2 on field goals. Shout out him. Tyler Ebo still punting the ball well. So those two groups, I think we've got it going in the right direction. But offense, we just need to see more. Need to see them come together. Need to see some plays. Offensive line especially. Everybody just needs to get more comfortable. So I think with that, as we see that, I'll get more comfortable, right? And my panic meter will come down. But for now, I'm solidly at a 6.
All right. So it's good. Good therapy session, everyone. You can stop leaning against your couch rest, looking at the ceiling. But it's time to have some fun. And I touched on it. Tailgate is right around the corner. And you know what that means? The Jelly Oats back for Alex's Lemonade Stand to help raise money for Aiden Bauman is going to be back. Look for the back-to-back flag. I will have that flying. It's going to be that free will donation on it. Come as if you'd like. The only other way you can get a Jello shot from us on this, though, is if you don't want to donate, which is totally fine, you got to take a picture with the lemon on your head. We're going to be doing the lemon head challenge. You got to tweet it, Instagram.
Yep.
And is it TikTok?
TikTok, Facebook, all the socials, Twitter, X, all the socials. I think, Jake, what we'll do, maybe later this week, we'll start posting some info. We can put it in our show on Thursday too, for folks, and maybe have some signage at tailgate for how to do that. But yeah, definitely, we can earn some free money there through Northwestern Mutual to donate to Alex's Lemonade Stand. If you do the lemon on your head, and they're donating $10 per social media account, so you can do it on Facebook, Twitter, all those ones we just mentioned. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll probably put some graphics together, and then maybe even for your Jelly Oat shots too.
Absolutely, yeah. So I mean, one Jelly Oat shot, even if you don't do the free will donation, which is totally fine, it's all on you. Just as long as you take the picture, you're still donating $30 to the challenge, and that is huge. That is a huge opportunity to really grow. The other thing that the back-to-back will be doing, just for a little fun, we'll see if we have a good turnout for this one and we make it every game. But the 4 and 4 for 4.
Oh boy! Here we go.
I'm throwing these guys into the fire. I didn't get the full approval of this.
If Matt's still in here, he'll do this.
So, the challenge to Coyote Nation: we are doing 4 dome dogs, 4 beers, 4 quarters. If you complete it, tag you back the pack in a tweet with it. We will donate. We'll put to a pool of $4 per. And every time somebody does it, we're going to be adding to it. And at the end of the UNC game, we'll tally it up, and Back to Pack will donate whatever that value comes out to.
Here we go. Say it one more time.
So 4 and 4 in 4. 4 dome dogs, 4 beers, 4 quarters. Yes, sir. We're gonna have some fun with
We
it.
might need a picture proof for that too, by the way.
I need to see 4 different wrappers. I need to see 4 different beer cans. If you send it in the end of the first, I don't care. You just did your 4 challenge early.
Let's go.
Yep. So I'm gonna be doing it. I will be adding to the pot myself. We're gonna have some fun with this opener. Let's get rowdy. Let's get crazy. And last but not least, let's have some fun with this. That's what it's all about.
And hey, by the way, Jordan also has a little thing that he commits every year. I want to shout out him because he does his own little challenge where he makes up some rules that the team has to meet. And right now he's not meeting any of those, so we need to get that changed around so he can donate some money too, because it's by wins.
Yep. Yeah. And volleyball makes it interesting. Is it going to be 3 Dome Dogs in a beer, or is it going to be 5 Dome Dogs in a beer? 5 years. You never know with that game. That with volleyball, that keeps you on your toes for sure.
It's fluid.
Interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah. That could get real dicey.
Okay. 4 beers, 4 Dome Dogs, 4 quarters, $4 per person that posts proof of it. Backpack will donate.
And after you've done it, waddle over to the SCSC and watch volleyball beat Kansas.
And then do it again, and Howling Podcast will cover that one.
There you go.
We'll come visit you at the hospital.
All right. Well, I'll say it. I feel like everybody's feeling a little bit better. We're going to get the ship righted. It starts on Saturday. Fill the dome. Grab your seats. Grab a friend. Grab your tailgating pass. Come find me in the parking lot, and we're going to have a blast.
Wear white. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, and wear white. I'm so excited.
And, yes. And of
Let's
course,
go.
don't forget, we'll see all these folks Thursday before the game as well to break that down. But plan accordingly now, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's get out of here.
All right. Go Yotes.
Go
Go
Yotes.
Yotes.